guys, it's your girl Victoria and I'm back with another video. And if you guys are new to this channel, please be sure to subscribe. That way you guys are a part of my journey as far as me growing as a bigger YouTuber. Now guys, you guys already see what it is based off of the title of this video. Now, this is kind of like the end of this whole little journey thingy of this dude here, my ex that I was talking to. At this pretty much point, I have other videos of other people that I could drop. You know, those stories are really crazy though. But if you guys really want it and you guys really keep, you know, coming at me, liking these videos and stuff like that, I'm just gonna have to put it out there. I'm just gonna have to write a damn novel after this. But yeah guys, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys about the time that this dude thought that I cheated. Now guys, this is well after the breakup, okay? Now I must admit, during the time of the breakup, he kind of kept hitting me up. He kind of kept being on that stalker shit again. But the only thing was, he couldn't really pop up, so he would just kind of call me from all different social media apps to the point where I literally had to block him on everything. So here it is. So we started from the point where we kind of broke up because of the whole car situation and everything like that. And he thought that I was gonna be like on the low with one of his coworkers or whatever. That never happened. As soon as he sat there and said that we was done, me and the coworker that he had stopped communicating with each other. We stopped sitting here and talking about the car and everything because we had no means of even talking to each other no more after that. I even seen that he popped up on Facebook and I politely scrolled past that because I ain't have no intentions with being with dude. So after, you know, I broke up with him or whatever, I started just really, you know, going out, living my life and stuff. I went to San Diego. Now, I went to San Diego with him too, but I went to San Diego separately with my sisters and my cousin and my aunt. So we had a really good time. So, you know, that was fun. I started, you know, talking to other people, like immediately after, which I know is bad, but I literally talked to people immediately after the whole situation with him. And then I ended up going to different places, just building memories and stuff without having to be with him. Because at first I was really like depriving myself of going places, and I felt like he was the only person that was literally helping me go places and kind of get my mind off of things that was going on at home. So I was like, once I kind of got out of that whole sense, it was really, really easy to get over him. If anything, you know, I cried for like 5 minutes and I was like, you know, I'm a thug, I don't need this. August, September-ish time, like around there, I was already talking to somebody else, okay? Dude sits there and he hits me up. Now, remind you, he also hit me up before then. Now, I told you guys in the last video, me and my sister went to Masked Singer on Monday. He sat there and broke up with me on Friday. So in between that time, we had no communication with each other. Then he hits me up on the Monday where we go to Masked Singer or whatever. And he pretty much like talks to me and is like, yeah, I just wanted to kind of like see how things are going with you. You know, I still want to stick with the breakup and everything, but I just want to see how things are going with you. I'm like, I'm good. It's just, you know, I'm trying to get ready and do other things and stuff like that. So, you know, I tried to rush him kind of like, you know, to stop talking to me, because by this time I didn't block him. I was just like, you know, if he wants to reach out, then he wants to reach out. But I wasn't going to make it like a big deal to the point where I was like, I'm going to block this dude and everything else. So, you know, when he's texting me and stuff, I'm like, I'm trying to hurry up so me and my sister can go to Masked Singer. This is like a once in a lifetime type of situation. Like, we get to go meet a bunch of celebrities and stuff and sit in the audience and like be like a part of a show that we actually love watching at home. So, you know, we was trying to hurry up. We was already feeling like a little discouraged as it was, because we kind of felt like, oh man, are we even going to get a chance to go? So at this point, I was like, the last person that I really want to even be bothered with and hear from is you. Like, I'm trying to hurry up and go. yeah, you know, that whole thing ended up happening. And then, you know, he pretty much tries to like get little info in on me and what's going on in my life and stuff like that. And I pretty much tell him I'm good, everything's good. You know, I'm really. Then he brings up the whole situation with the car and everything, and again, and I'm like, well, I was never trying to sit here and do nothing to make you feel upset about your whole car situation. Like, you knew what it was, and you know, I don't understand why you literally blew up at me over a materialistic item in the first place. It wasn't that deep. And then second, you know, my sister at the time, she was pregnant, and you know, I'm having her drive all the way from her area to come down to me so then she can help me out with getting your car. And then I was gonna have the boy in the car with me, and then on top of that, I'm making multiple trips. Like, I started adding it up, I would have made 4 trips with all the trips that I'm doing to try to get this dude's car. So I'm like, the fact that he was so ungrateful, it really had pissed me off. So yeah, he sits there, and you know, once he finds out that my sister's about to have a baby and stuff like that, he gets all like, oh my god, really? Like, I didn't know she was about to have a baby and all this other kind of stuff. I was like, well, yeah, you know, if you would have stuck around, you would have knew, but it's none of your business. So, you know, that's what it was with that. Then it just kind of seemed like after that whole situation and me allowing to have a conversation with him once, it just kind of seemed like after that, he constantly thought it was okay to hit me up, even though we was broken up. And I was kind of like, you know, why does he keep hitting me up? You know, it was crazy. I was like, why is he doing this? It got to a point where one time he calls me and he's like, I'm just checking in on you, making sure everything's okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm fine. I'm just trying to figure out why you keep calling me, because it doesn't really make any sense that you would break up with me and then continue to keep calling me. And then he's like, oh, well, you know, it's just, I'm trying to make sure that, you know, everything is okay with you and that, you know, you're in a good space, because I still care about you and love you. It's just, I don't want nothing to happen to you and all that. It's just, I felt like we shouldn't have been in a relationship anymore. And I'm kind of like, okay, I get it, but it's to the point where you're like calling me at least once a week. And I'm like, but why? Because if that's the case, then we shouldn't have even broke up in the first place. But you know, at this point, I'm just kind of over it. Like I said, I had already started talking to other people, kind of, you know, getting my feet wet, kind of doing what I wanted to do initially before even getting in this relationship. I wanted to just kind of get out there, date people, and, you know, get to know other people rather than just tie myself down to one particular person at that given moment, because I wasn't in no way, shape, or form to tie down and get in a relationship at the time. So I was actually getting able to go out and have fun. So, you know, he kind of was just like cramping my style, because I'm like, every time I got on the phone with him, he always wanted to be negative and depressed and talk about bullshit. And I'm like, I don't have time for this. So it got to points where, you know, after he noticed he couldn't get in touch with me on one app, he started just going to multiple apps. He started hopping from app to app to see if he could get in touch with me and see if he could have a conversation with me. So it got to points where I was like, okay, you know what? I think I'm at the point where I'm ready to block you, because, you know, you're hitting me up practically once a week. It's getting to the point where I'm like, I can't even go out there and continue to live my hot girl life, because you're out here constantly hitting me up. Like, we're not even in a relationship no more. So at one point, it gets to a point where he ends up hitting me up one time when I'm at work on Instagram. And he hits me up in the DM and pretty much goes, yeah, you know, I'm just checking on you, making sure you're okay or whatever. I'm like, I'm fine. You know, I'm just, you know, trying to figure out what's going on, why you keep hitting me up and everything. And then, you know, he pretty much like hints at, you know, I kind of feel like you've already moved on and everything. But, you know, I don't know. It's just based off of your demeanor. It kind of seems like you've already moved on with someone. And I was like, well, I'm not going to tell you my business, because it's none of your business.
Hear my voice sometime when you feel like you're about to get in somebody's business or somebody in yours. Hear this, okay? You do you, and I'ma do me, because it's my business.
And we've broken up, so if I decided to move on, I decided to move on. If I didn't, I didn't. It's just, I'm to the point where I'm kind of like, I don't understand why you keep reaching out, because at this point, it's kind of giving me like, why are you constantly doing that? So then from there, he wanted to, like, you know, cop his little attitude or whatever. So then I had to block him on Instagram. So at that point where I had him blocked on every single app that I had, he sits there and he hits me up one time when I'm at the gas station. Now, I get hit up when I'm at the gas station and I'm thinking to myself, who could this be? Me, I'm the type of a person where, you know, although it's like this is a foreign number, I still answer it because, you know, I don't know if I probably applied for a job or something, or if this is something important. So I went ahead and answered it. Now, I bet it wasn't nothing important because it was a Sunday and I was just getting my gas, but I was just mainly looking at it from, you know, I'm trying to hurry up and get my gas because I had something to do after. And I was like, you know what, let me just answer this phone real quick. So I answered it. And then the first time when I answered, I'm like, hello? Hello? You only get 2 hellos out of me. I'm not going to continue to keep acting like Adele over here. So I'm just like, you know what? That's it. I'm just going to hang up. Then after that, I get called by the same number again. But it's to the point where I'm like, you know what? I can't answer right now. It's my turn to go get gas. So I'm finna go handle this. And then I'm about to go get my gas. And then I'll just call this person on my way to go do whatever else I gotta do. Then I sit there and when I call the number back, I call the number back and I'm like, hello, who's this? And then he sits there and he comes in like this low, like grungy voice as if he'd been crying for days. And he's just like,
hello, Victoria. This is crazy guy.
because I'm not gonna give y'all his name, but he goes,
hey, this is crazy guy.
And I'm like, okay. And then he's like,
I don't know what I'm doing. It's just I wanted to give you a call and see how things are going with you, blah, blah, blah.
so I'm like, the same shit? Like, you literally went out of your way to get another phone or whatever the fuck you want, another app with a fake number, just to get in contact with me? Like, this is crazy at this point. Then he pretty much tells me, like,
yeah, you know, I'm just like, you know, I just wanted to talk to you, see how you was doing and everything.
and then, like, from being cordial, we just all of a sudden went to, you know, kind of like arguing low key. So he ends up saying stuff like,
you know, I just feel like you've already moved on, and I don't understand why we can't sit here and work this out. If if this was just like a minor thing, I don't understand why we can't just work this out.
and I was pretty much just telling him, like, look, at this point, I'm really just done with this whole relationship. So I kind of can't move forward with you. Like, I'm really, like, just over it and done with it. Like, there is nothing here for me. There is nothing that I am interested in with this or with you. So I kind of cannot keep going forward with you. He then sits there and starts breaking down on the phone as if he's crying at this point, because it really sounds like he's crying now.
Hello there, Your Honor. I want to say I'm sorry.
Man, sorry. The sorriest motherfucker I ever seen.
He's like,
I'm just gonna hope that you don't end up pregnant by one of these dudes and they don't end up leaving you with the baby.
and I'm like, what? Is this really what we on? And guys, he sat there and he found me on an app that I was on, trying to like talk to people and stuff like that. Like, kind of really putting my business out there, guys. But I mean, I'm sure everybody does it. But like, you know, he found me out there and stuff like that, and literally caught up with me on there. And he's like, ... Like, I literally have this screenshot for you guys. So I'm gonna show you guys the screenshot of the conversation that he pretty much had with me and what he said. So yeah, guys, he said that. And then that was a thing that he also brought up when he was on the phone with me that day. And he's like,
Yeah, you sat there and said that, you know, you want to link up with people for business purposes and stuff.
and I was like, yeah, because I was in the midst of trying to do my YouTube and stuff like that. So if I could find a fucking photographer or a person that know how to do some shit like editing or any kind of shit like that, I'm down to meet up with them and at least have conversations so we can brainstorm, have ideas, everything, you know? So, you know, he got literally upset with me over that. Like, it really wasn't even my place to have to tell him that. But it's like, you know, it got to the point where he was just acting out of control. And then it gets to a point where, you know, after he says that, you know, he's just like,
yeah, like, you know, I want to wish bad on you, but I'm not gonna wish bad on you. But at a point, it just makes me hope that, you know, something bad does happen to you. That way you could figure that I was the good man for you.
And all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's really crazy that you would sit there and say some shit like that. Like, it really just showed his true colors, that that's the kind of a person he was. After that whole situation happened, I hadn't heard from him in so long, because by that time I had blocked him on every number imaginable. I sat there and I blocked him on all social medias, and, you know, I wasn't able to really, like, have any communication with him. He wasn't able to have no communication with me. When he was on that 6-month trip, he came back and he pretty much started some shit, because he sat there and he hit up somebody that was on my Instagram that I guess he thought that I was talking to like that, and that he thought that we was like on the low or whatever. So, guys, this part right here gets really fucking messy. So if you guys got some popcorn, some snacks, make sure you got them. Because it gets really, really crazy. Okay, so here's me. Here's this dude that I knew on Instagram or whatever. He was like a model or some shit. We not even Instagram friends no more, because like last week he pissed me off and he was on some bitch shit. So I had to block his ass and unfollow his ass. So he sits there and he's in the picture. Then it's this other girl. Then it's my crazy ex. So then my crazy ex makes up this story that there's this girl that he talked to that sat there and knew of me or something like that, and knew of me cheating on him. So she sits there and tells him that, you know, there's this dude on Instagram that she's over here messing with on the low, and she was messing with him around the time that y'all was together or whatever. So then he sits there and tells his friend that he knows from kind of like being in work and stuff together, because his friend is mutual friends with the dudes that I know that's on my Instagram. So she pretty much ends up coming into the picture and hitting him up, which is the dude that's on my Instagram. And she sits there and tells him, you know, hey, that girl that's on your Instagram, do you know her? And then he pretty much sees me and he's like, yeah, I know her. Why? What's going on? And then he pretty much states that, or she pretty much tells him, you know, hey, so there's this guy that I know that's my friend, and he's pretty much telling me that you guys was messing around on the low and creeping on the low while she was in a relationship with him. And, you know, he sits there and he goes, well, no, I don't think that happened or whatever. I don't think, you know, things happen on that level or whatever. So, you know, I'll talk to her, but, you know, I don't think that's true or whatever, because we just friends. And then that's when, you know, I sit there and I see that he posts something. So, you know, I always sat there trying to like give him little encouragement. I mean, I did think he was cute or whatever, I'm not gonna lie. So, you know, I would give him like little encouragement, or, you know, just say little things, respond to his little Insta stories or whatever. So he sits there and he tells me, oh yeah, I've been meaning to tell you something. Like, there was this whole situation that happened, and it pretty much involved you, and a girl is pretty much like telling lies and stuff on you. And I'm like, what? Wait a minute, what is going on? Like, and then it pretty much comes like, and once it dwindles down, it's like the girl sits there and, you know, that was his friend. I'm thinking that she's the one that's causing the shit. So I'm like, what is with this bitch? Like, what does she want? And then he sits there and he goes, no, it's not her. It's like another girl, like a person that we don't even know that's coming in, and she's kind of saying stuff. And he's like, if you want, I could give you the girl that told me this info, which is also mutual friends with my ex. I could give you her number and you guys can have like a conversation. I said, yes, please give me her number, so then that way I can get down to the bottom of this. Because a person is out here lying on me, making it seem like I'm out here cheating on dude when I never cheated on dude. We was out of a relationship when I sat there and started talking to other people. So then you know, I sit there and I get to talk to the girl, and she pretty much tells me the story just like I said it, and tells me that there's this third party that don't nobody even know. Only person that knows the third party is my ex. So he's the only one that knows this random girl that's out here lying on me. And then, you know, once that whole thing happened, you know, I think it was an attempt for him to try to talk to me and stuff like that. So, you know, I pretty much told the girl, I was like, listen, is the ex, you know, the crazy guy that, you know, was talking to you or whatever? And she confirms it and says, yes, it was my ex or whatever. So I tell her, I was like, well, look, you know, you can tell him that, you know, he needs to leave me alone, leave my family alone, because it got to a point where he hit my sister up on Instagram trying to talk and stuff too, as if he wanted to, like, trying to talk to get into what was going on with me. He gonna sit there and say, oh no, this ain't got nothing to do with Victoria. No, it do have everything to do with me, because you now talking to my family. So it had everything to do with me. After he sat there and, you know, did all that or whatever, I told the girl, I was like, look, just let him know that I'm not trying to be with him. I'm not trying to be bothered with him. Don't have him hit up my family. None of that. Like, don't sit here and come at me no kind of way. So she pretty much relayed the message to him. She apologized to me and everything, saying like, hey, I didn't want to come and do all this kind of stuff, because guys, around this time, this was Christmas Eve when this happened. So literally Christmas is the next day, and this happened literally last year. So it was a mess. Like, she was like, yeah, I didn't mean to cause any problems. I didn't mean to get into your business. I didn't mean to get into his business. It's just you and the guy that you know, y'all don't seem like those types of people. It's just, you know, I had to kind of be the third party person and kind of be drug into this and stuff like that. And I was like, no, you good or whatever. It's just, you know, I'm not doing that tip, you know. So then after that, you know, that was pretty much the end of that whole story. Now, fast forward to like a couple months back or whatever, he found me on Snapchat, tried to watch my stories, blocked, because I didn't have time for that. But anyway, guys, that is the end of this little series. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. If you guys want, you guys can follow me on my social medias. They'll be listed in the description box down below, as well as in the outro. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.